See, don't let them deceive you. Don't let anybody deceive you, especially with respect to Conor Gallagher and his importance to Chelsea Football Club. He is so important to everything that the team does that sometimes when I see that people just um, reduce his impact to the team to just running around or something, I find it very funny. Again, throughout the whole season, it is just one game that Conor hasn't performed above 80%, and it's in that game that we played at Newcastle where he was shambolic. But still, people give him a stick and then see, oh, he is this, he is that, he's this. See, Conor wasn't your most technically gifted midfielder in the team. Even last season, where he was a Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, and the likes, he wasn't the most technically gifted midfielder. The game is so physical and it's about intensity these days that players like Conor are players that you can't do away with in the modern game. Even in the midst of the most physical, the most technical, midfielders, you need a certain Conor Gallagher. He is the glue that sticks both together, because if you have technical midfielders but don't have that right inject of pace and intensity and aggression in central areas, then you are in trouble. Again, Conor this season has added brilliant stuff to his play and in his arsenal with respect to the technical ability that he now has. Last season, he was shambolic in terms of the technical ability that he possessed. These days, Conor seemed to have used the preseason to develop his technical side of the game, his ball reception, the one-time passes, his first touch. He has been brilliant. And I think that dovetails into exactly what you need for a midfielder like that. For somebody that is in the midst of 100 million pound midfielders, he's really proven his mettle. And that's why for me, as it stands now, Conor Gallagher is Chelsea's best midfielder, not just midfielder, best player this term. As it stands now, Chelsea's best player this term. And he has proven beyond any reasonable doubt that he's a top player and he can get a job done. And that's exactly who Conor Gallagher is, and that he has shown to be in recent times. Hi, thank you very much. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I am a performance analyst, video analyst, tactical analyst of the game. And I tell footballing stories, asking myself whys and hows. And I ask those questions for you and I answer them for you as well. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. Thank you very much for joining me here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Let us get straight into the conversation. So, Chelsea, first of all, were able to beat Sheffield. It was Chris Wilder's Sheffield. So in as much as we say, Sheffield hadn't been able to win any game away, and they had not gotten more than 1 point this season from an away game, we also got to understand that Chris Wilder is a brilliant manager, and we see that, okay, if Chelsea are struggling to play against the low blocks, then how are you going to deal with the low block experts in Chris Wilder? Because his teams are expecting the low block. Mark T and then Oli McBurney have been brilliant in that position and in getting that job done. And yesterday, if you watch the game closely, it was a 5-4-1 central compact blockade in there. And again, I think that there are a few things that Chelsea did right in able to get this thing done. So it was good stuff. Yes, the gameplay in itself wasn't exciting, but Chelsea did a few things in terms of principle and getting some things right, and that's exactly how they won the game. But first of all, just by way of extending the conversation, giving some more context, let's talk about something. Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea's centre forward, Chelsea's number one centre forward, that was bought from Villarreal this season, has 8 goals. Has, I think, 8 goals in the league, 1 assist. He has played this season, minutes that he has played per game, 187. Sterling has 6 goals, 1 assist. Also played 18 games this season. Cole Palmer, He has 5 goals, 4 assists, and then 15 games played this season. Enzo Fernandes, in all competitions, 3, 0 assists, 18 games played this season. Mihailo Mudryk, 2, 1 assist, 15 minutes played this season. Badiashile, 1, 4 minutes, 4 games played this season. Kowo, Chukwuemeka, Madueke, Bruya, Thiago Silva have all scored 1 in that regard. When people say the Chelsea project is a joke, I look at them like, maybe you are saying it's a joke because they are not getting the results that you expected them to be getting at standstill. And people feel that, oh, just because Chelsea spent $1 billion, all of a sudden they should get the results and hit the ground running. It was never going to happen. It was always going to take time. It was always going to take a while. It was always going to be something that Chelsea had to be patient with. But you see, when you are being patient and you're looking for growth, you look at the indicators of growth. And one of the indicators of growth is a slight comparison between where you were the year before and where you are now. And in the case of Chelsea, throughout last season, and I think the season before, there was a combined goals and assists from the Chelsea's attackers about 18. This season, halfway through to the season, Chelsea have already done 25, which is about 7 more than what the attackers of Kai Havertz, Mason Mount did last season. And it is excellent numbers, brilliant numbers for Chelsea. And they are getting these numbers because there is that progress. And that's why every day I look at XGs and I say, XG is a metric that gives you that gives you a perception that these things are beginning to go right. Like these things are going well. We are just not there yet. We're in the right direction. We're just not there yet. And maybe we have to be patient, or we have to add this or that. Then we can get the results that we so want. Also, Kai Havertz was Chelsea's top scorer last season with about 7 goals or so. Already Nicolas Jackson has 8. And he has bettered that number in just half a season. The season before was Jorginho, who was Chelsea's top scorer. But Chelsea have a raw striker who is in the team and then getting the job done, scoring those goals, very important goals. Somebody who has just come, this is his first season. Mind you, Didier Drogba's first season, he didn't get these numbers that Nicolas Jackson is getting. So it's good stuff, and it looks as if Chelsea are on the right path, on the right track to raking some very good points, and their players are doing some very good stuff. And apart from them, I saw them centre backs are scoring, some midfielders are also getting some goals. And mind you, Chelsea have been so much at the end of a lot of injuries this season, and it's important that when we have the conversation, we have it in the context of that as well. It's very, very important. Now, to the game that Chelsea played yesterday, there were just a couple of things that Chelsea did brilliantly well. So, anytime that Chelsea played a low block, one of the things that will happen was that Chelsea will have loads of the possession, play a lot of the passes, but as the game wears on, the opponent will turn over the ball. Chelsea will fail to defend better, and then they score. It happens several times. Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, West Ham United, Everton. It has happened several times against Chelsea this time. But this is the difference between the games that Chelsea have played against those sides and the game that they played yesterday. Excuse me, against Sheffield United. Yes, Sheffield wasn't the best team on the day, but Chelsea tend to do the simple things well, the principles of play in terms of getting things done right way. Well, first of all, Chelsea made sure that throughout the game, they didn't lose their discipline, and then they didn't lose their focus. They weren't jittery. So in recent times, in a lot of games that Chelsea will play, when they are not scoring the goals or when the goal is not coming, they will lose their discipline. They'll be frustrated. They will be getting into unnecessary fouls. You go back and you look at the game, and just when you get into unnecessary fouls, even after the 68th minute, when the goal hadn't come, and they were patient until they got that. Now there were some tactical tweaks. I'll tell you about them. But I'm looking at the fact that Chelsea were very disciplined on the day. They were very focused. They still kept on doing what they had to do and believing that the goal was going to come eventually, even if it's not going to come in the 68th minute. It can come in the 95th minute. It can come in the 98th minute. It was going to come. They just had to be patient and wait for it, and not necessarily be frustrated and then get into tackles and get yellow cards and then mess up all the job that they've done from minute 1 to, let's say, minute 70 or something that way. So they were very, very disciplined, very focused until the goal came. brilliant stuff. And I think I must commend Mauricio Pochettino for halftime getting his voice to be turned on, because like the game against Brighton at halftime, Chelsea came back and it happened. They just lost everything. Against Newcastle, it was seen. They came back from halftime and they just didn't weren't there mentally again, and then they just lost everything. Now, apart from the discipline and the focus of the players, one of the things also that Chelsea did brilliantly well is the fact that as the game did wear on tactically, one, Chelsea made sure that this time they were very compact without the ball. So you see, sometimes when you push up and then you press, you want to play with a very high line and make the pitch constricted, so you reduce the spaces that the opponent has. Why? Because you want to be able to close them down quickly, and it's supposed to be done in a space of about 6 to 10 seconds. You're supposed to close them down. Chelsea took that risk. The risk wasn't just in attack; they were supposed to take defensive risks as well. In games that are past, when the ball is turned over, you see the Chelsea centre backs beginning to retreat, especially for Thiago Silva. And that was one of the reasons why, for me, I kept on saying maybe Thiago Silva should get out of the team, or maybe he shouldn't be played. Yes, he's good, he's a brilliant, but that's the part of this game that I was worried. When you play against low blocks, and then you tend to have Thiago Silva retreating. Yesterday, he went into tackles. They were solid. They weren't scared. They just make sure that once the ball is being turned over, quickly they go and close down. They make it very, very aggressive. Axel Disasi backed it up as well. Benoît Badiashile, it's something that he has been doing for the longest time, and they did it very, very well yesterday. So the spaces were little, they closed it down slowly, and then they were backed up by two also very aggressive DMs in Conor Gallagher and in Moise Caicedo, who played alongside each other in the central area. It was good stuff. It was brilliant stuff from both of them, and I think that was very, very important for everything that Chelsea did on the day. Very, very important. Gallagher backing it up on the left hand side, quickly winning those balls, being aggressive. Moise Caicedo sniffing the danger. Anytime the defender steps in and then doesn't win the ball, he quickly comes in and makes sure he nicks the ball. And it was so important. So that's something that the defense did very well. If you look at the goal Chelsea conceded against Everton, Dwight McNeil, the ball gets turned over and the centre backs begin to retreat. You cannot retreat. You see, it's automatic that centre backs should retreat if their line is not high and they've not come close, they've not made the pitch constricted. So if the pitch was constricted, now I'll do a proper analysis on the tactical board later. But yeah, if the pitch is constricted, we've pushed up and the distance is slow. Once your ball turns over, you are close to the action, you can just go in. But if you are away from it and the player is carrying the ball at you, you are forced to retreat. And then that puts you at a disadvantage. And then you may end up conceding a goal. So it was very, 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 very good in that regard. And I think that in the attack, in the midfield, however, maybe Mauricio Pochettino has been justified in playing Conor Gallagher ahead of Enzo Fernandez. And yes, Enzo needed some rest, but also it is what really Conor adds to the team next to Moise Caicedo. I love Moise Caicedo on the ball. I think that Moise Caicedo on the ball is a brilliant player. You get him on the ball, he plays forward, he comes down the ball, he's almost press resistant. Like, he makes his build up so easy from deep areas, and that is very, very important for the team. And I think that you watch him and you can tell that this is a top player in that regard. But you will get the best out of Moise Caicedo, like I've always said, if you are playing him more box to box than anything. And yesterday was more box to box because he could go and he knows that Conor will back him up at the back in there for him and then come back and all of those things. I'm waiting to see Lavia in the hole, Moise Caicedo, and then see Conor Gallagher in there, that three, or Enzo Fernandez. That's midfield dynamic. Sometimes you throw in Kani Chukwuemeka because Kans is an excellent receiver in between the lines, and then sometimes you need him to do those things that he does every time. And for me, it's very, very important. So he did a brilliant job also in that part of the game. And I think that, so if you watch the starting lineup, Mihailo Mudryk started on the left, Cole Palmer started centrally, and then Raheem Sterling started on the right. Raheem is not the kind of player that loves to start on the right. He doesn't enjoy the game on the right. He wants to come from the left and cut in and then have a lot of time and space until he affects the game. Right? So it was something that was really not hitting it in the first half. Now in the second half, Mauricio Pochettino changed something. Raheem essentially came to play as a number 10 in centrally and a little bit close to the left half space where he could turn in and cut in and have Cole Palmer also come in centrally. So sometimes, and I think that generally it wasn't just that flat thing, it was more of a variation. And a lot of dynamism up front where sometimes Cole Palmer will come inside and Raheem Sterling will go to the right. Sometimes Raheem Sterling will come inside to the right. Cole Palmer will take the width or the right half space in there. And I think that's exactly how the goal did come about. And it was brilliant. That tweak, that movement from Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling on and off the ball in attacking third really undid Burnley. And that's exactly how the goal came about. So yeah, the movement in attack, the Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling dynamism in attack over there was important. You go back and then you look at in the middle of the park, Moyes and Conor Gallagher, brilliant stuff that he did in central areas, and then the defenders. I think that Chelsea won that game because of the defenders and they were very aggressive. See, there's a guy at Chelsea called Benoît Badiashile. His nickname is Big Ben. Big Ben is a real deal. Trust me. I don't want to wax lyrical, but he was, these are facts, he was top 3 centre backs based in France from 2020 to about 2022. Brilliant centre back. The bowed man in Manchester was given the license to buy a left-footed centre back, a Croat left-footed centre back. I won't mention his name. The guy who was 10 to 60 by Lionel Messi for 90 million. Benoît or Big Ben was bought for 35 million. He has just returned from injury, and you see how sharp he is. See, it is hard to get defenders who are good on the ball, very good 1v1 duelists, good aerial duelists. Their game reading is top notch, steps into midfield to make out danger. Like, it is so hard to get this complete package. William Saliba is such a guy. But see, Benoît is such a unicorn. Like they say Rolls Royce, Kamikaze. He is everything that you want in a centre back. And I just pray and hope that injury that he had doesn't recur, and then he gets to play in there for a very long time. Everybody will buy stocks. I tell you, everybody will buy the Benoît Badiashile stocks. Sometimes when I watch him, I just watch him for the passing, like, and it's something that Chelsea lack for a very long time. Central areas, you want somebody to break the lines, like force the ball vertical. Oh God, like, it's so aesthetically pleasing. And I know when you have a player who is good, like proper good, but also aesthetically pleasing, that's like gold, football gold. And Chelsea did hit gold with Benoît Badiashile. The way he pops the ball from central areas. Sometimes you're behind your TV when I'm watching Chelsea and Benoît starting, and see, it's a weird fantasy. I just want to connect my Bluetooth device and be able to hear this. The pop, pop when he hits the ball. It's something else. Benoît is a top centre back, trust me. And I know that people will get to know how much of a solid centre back Benoît Badiashile is. Guys, thank you very much for spending time with me on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'm grateful. I'll see you.